So pretty similar comps. Different tier distributions, but pretty much the same type comp. They have an advantage to take the hill, so I probably wouldn't push hill. You can set up, at the sort of base of the hill, get a couple free shots on the guys that go up, and then just bail out. I'm not entirely sure, because like one of your mediums is a super Pershing, and it's a little bit too slow for it to get into position. There is no artillery, which is good, but yeah, you don't have a good comp for this. But whenever you don't have a good comp to take a strategic area, you still want to make them pay in blood to take it. So, get your free damages and then just bail out. And so I like to hang out on this corner right here and just shoot them as they move up. I mean, pushing here is a little aggressive. Oh, I don't know where their team is.
It's a trap!
Usually you see a little bit more of speed go to this spot, even on encounter. They did send some guys out to the cap side, but you have an IS on the back of the cap. So you can actually, especially when there's no artillery, you can sort of devalue this side. Go and see if you can get shots on the backside of the T-34, on the backside of the WZ-111, see where that T-28 Proto is. Like, I wouldn't worry about this side because you've got so many guys over there. Go see if you can damage these guys over here. Like, all you have to do is just go like right there or on that side of the rock if you think there's somebody in the base. It's unlikely that there's going to be anybody in the base in this in encounter, but like you could be damaging this T-28 Proto like all day.
Enemy armor is hit. It's a trap. Penetration.
I'm gonna try to shoot his trap.
Enemy armor is hit. Penetration.
And that's why you kind of actually want to be closer to this rock right here, because there will be less people sort of behind you. I still wouldn't even worry about this side. You want to try to deal you want to deal as much flanking damage as you possibly can. You don't want to have to deal front damage to somebody.
It's a trap.
You choose a poor time to reload. So you should reload and then move. And then whenever you are done reloading, you should be at wherever you needed to get to. Like, you don't want to move and then reload. But right now, again, you can still get a lot of damage on the backs of these guys. You want to flank, 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 flank. Such a powerful tool. So powerful. So much free damages.
Enemy armor is hit.
So much free damage.
It's a trap.
You can shoot that. You can shoot that T-28 if you want.
Penetration. Enemy armor is damaged.
Get that free damages. Oh, so juicy the free damages.
Penetration.
So, and then now you relocate. Relocate, 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 relocate. Still ignore the other side. Right? No, ignore it. Look, they're pushing your guys right now. You're about to lose advantage over on that side.
It's a trap.
You can relocate over to where the Tiger was, or if you think that they're not gonna camp your position, you can stay on this side. But you're spending far, far, far too much time guarding something that's not, under threat. Whereas the side that is getting pushed, that is under threat, you're like completely ignoring.
Enemy armor is destroyed. It's a trap.
Like, that T-28 Proto should have never even made it that far. You should have. No. So see, where are you going? Where are you going? Oh my god.
Target acquired. Enemy armor is damaged. It's a trap.
You definitely don't want to drive in front of them like that.
Penetrate their armor. They're knocked out.
Especially since there's a room for
One
that.
of our tracks is damaged.
Oh, look at that.
Enemy is hit.
See, I don't know. So yeah, you need to drop spot, because you need to get away from that room, but I guess it's just the CDC now, so it's a little bit less of a problem. But you also gave up the prime position on top of the hill. And again, remember, it's not like a JT-88 can push corners very easily anyway, so that guy wasn't going to do a whole lot. There's still nobody on the 4-5 line. You can go and camp right here and shoot those guys for free. See how you're going to the exact same line. Exact same line as your teammates. You never want to do that. You flank, 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 flank. You're in a light tank with a light gun. There you go. Go to the side. There's nobody coming up the 4-5 line. Maybe that Roomba will be there eventually. Go out here, get some free shots, free damages.
It's a trap!
Just go around on this side and come up further along that line. You can peek and see if the Roomba's there if you want. He's committed. Look the track.
It's a trap!
You still have to be a little bit wary of the Roomba, because if the Roomba was pushing forward, he's going to be up in front of you fairly soon. More likely he's pushing the Tiger and nobody's covering him. So yeah, going up here is probably a good idea. It's fine. It's too late. You're not going to be able to save him. I wouldn't worry about it. If you're gonna come all this way, you might as well go all the way. Yeah. Lol. If this Tiger is smart, he'll just run around the building. Oh, he tried to shoot him. Don't try to shoot him. Just push the Roomba. Your Tiger's still alive. You got a chance.
It's a trap!
Do it.
Enemy armor is damaged.
A little bit more to your left. A little bit more to your left. No, no, no. You could have killed him. He's like half of his tank is exposed. So now he's reloaded though. So now he's dangerous.
Ready to fire. It's a trap!
Perfect. He doesn't have a chance. Don't worry about it. Get safe from the west because the Type's going to be over there. Don't keep driving around. Just sit behind the building and hide from the Type. Somebody tried to shoot you. The KV-85 can spot this side. The Type's going to come from the other side. Oh my god. When you're reloading, you don't want to run into people. That's your goal. I don't want to run into people. Let the KV-85 deal with it. Okay, it doesn't look like he's going to deal with it.
Got him. It's a trap!
I wouldn't even try to snipe that. I wouldn't go this way either. So, you know the Type is on the cap. You know the Type knows where you're at. He knows what your angle you're approaching from. Like you have zero chance from this approach. Which is, you know, the advantage of being on the cap, right?
It's a trap!
Keep driving forward and you'll get a shot. No, drive at him. Just drive at him. Like, he's obviously facing the other way. Oh, not anymore.
It's a trap!
No. So, you don't want to creep like that? Like, if you think he's facing the other way, just go. Don't do that half-assed stuff. I can't see what the KV-85 is doing. Let's look over in this general direction. At least he got the 2801. Well, he knows the probable side that the KV-85 is going to come off, which is his problem. Lol. Okay, so very clearly you threw this game. This was a game that you personally very easily could have won. And very simply by taking free damages. Oh my god, so much free damage. So much free damage. It was a damage buffet. And you said, no, I'm on a diet. Can't take that much free damage. They had so many guys over in this area. They've got no artillery. They've got little to no base defense. Or spawn defense, I guess would be the better phrase.
Connection
and
lost.
You just completely ignored it. You're like, there's this slow-ass T-28 prototype crossing over here. I don't really care to get those free damages. There's a slow-ass T-34 crossing over here. I don't really care to get those free damages. You can't give up free damages. I mean, free damage is you know, that's the dream. You want that dream. And whenever you can get that dream of free damage, you should be there and taking it. And then when you finish your clip and you reload, then you can move to someplace else. But moving to someplace else means this is where I'm going to move to get my free damages next. And whenever you're playing a tank like the Bulldog or a lot of these other support tanks, you want to get those side shots. You want to get those rear shots because you've got a lot of burst, right? But the tank itself is rather fragile. So you want to collect those free damages. So I really felt like you could have obliterated, just straight obliterated their guys on the east just by yourself. But you kept coming back to this west side for some reason. There was very, very little threat on this 4-5 line. There was a huge threat on the 8-9 line, and you went with the little threat instead of the big threat. You went to an area where you weren't going to really be effective, as opposed to an area where you were going to be shooting sides and asses of tanks that didn't really have any side or rear armor. And you cannot give up that choice. And just simply doing that would have made the complexion of this game completely different. It would have gone from a 14-15 loss to a 15-8 win. You know, something like that. That's how big of a difference that made, because it was so early in the game. They moved forward in a fashion that was just very, very poor, and they didn't have anybody who could really counter you effectively in the area on top of the hill. They didn't push the hill, right? They didn't have anybody back here who was going to be able to shoot you. There's rocks in the way. There's no artillery. Everything said, hey, shoot these guys for free over here. And I really feel like that was just a huge difference in the game. And so if we look at the stats.
Connection lost.
Not bad. 3k damage. Your KV-85 also on the hill got 3k damage. Everyone else really, you know, it's a mixed bag, but they had the same mixed bag of poop that you did. Yeah, it was very, very close. I mean, I really feel like that was the difference. That if you just sat there and you know, they were tier 8 tanks. It was a WZ-111, T-34, T-28 Proto, but you had an opportunity to just straight bully them. Put them in a situation where you had them bent over, but you didn't. You decided not to take it. You shot at the T-28 a couple times. You shot at the T-34 a lot, which was good, but a little too late. Like, that could have been a continuous thing. You could have prevented their team from pushing forward, because they would have been like, oh man, every time I push forward, this fucking Bulldog shoots me in the ass. You know, I'm not going to keep pushing forward. And that's what really hurt your team, was that your team was on cap, but it was too easy. It was just too easy for them to just move up and reset, because there was nobody there to punish. And you need to punish. You need to be able to take that free damage, because they're stuck, right? They don't have a choice. They can either push forward and get shot in the side and shot in the ass, or they can lose by cap out. And that's the importance of getting that IS to that position on the cap. But all he needs, all that IS needs, is for somebody on the hill to go, I'll take the free damage. I'll make the sacrifice to take all the damage. But anyhow, good game overall. Just if bully, then bully. Don't let up. Don't give them a chance. GG, nice try. I will send you codes. Oh man, I'm gonna have to write down a long list of codes tonight. Alright, so next is Korhaniski, also on mines. Hopefully he does not give up as much free damage. Alrighty, top tier, also no RD. They have a lot of tank destroyers, which is good for you, because that pretty much guarantees that you're going to get the hill. So I even, like in this comp, I'll still push up to either right here, or even a little bit more forward, because there's no punishment from RD. Get your free shot of damage if they try to push hill, because that's going to help out your mediums that put that in if and when they push hill to take it. Even if you just get one shot of damage into the side of the E50 or whatever, that's actually pretty good. And then once you get your free damage, then you can relocate wherever you want, because there's no RD. You can stay in the 4-5 line if you want. You can play the D line if you want. You can even go back outside, go down the 3 line if you want. You know, you have options. But get that shot of free damage. Punish them if they try to if they're foolish enough to try to take the hill. Like, that's your goal. And so what you want to do is so they're going to start crossing. The speed tanks will start, like the 1390 will start crossing pretty soon. You're not really actually looking to get a shot on the 1390. There's going to be too much traffic. What you're really looking to get a shot on are the slower mediums, like the Panther 2, the E50, T20, Comet. Like, those are the tanks that you're looking for. So like, you'll see if they push, then you'll see the 1390 go. That wasn't a very good shot.
It's a trap!
You probably could have held that. Right, so it's a numbers game, right? You look at what you had up there, look at what they sent up there. You know that you're going to win that. What you want to do is you want to seal this area and make it so that it's not easy for them to shoot your guys in the ass. So you want to keep pushing up here, right? There's no artillery, so you don't have to worry about punishment through that lane. You don't have to worry about these guys because they're going to be having to deal with your guys there. What you want to do is you want to seal off this area over on the right. So you can push up, right? So there's a groove right here. You can push up and be hulled down to these guys right here. Again, like, shooting that E50 is fine. I don't have any problem with that. But keep going up here. You need to make sure that these guys back off, or at least can't sit here and continue to shoot your STA and your Centurion in the sides and the rear. Because your guys are going to be focused on dealing with these guys up here, right? And they have enough to deal with. What you need to do is contain. Right, so pulling back is not the answer. See where your PTA is? You can spring this PTA by backing these guys off, right? So they're in the groove right here, but as they push up and cross this little road right here, their sides are exposed. But you can prevent that by backing these guys off, right? So the question is, what else do you have to do right now, right? You don't have any other shots right here. You're not afraid of Artie, so there's nothing to be afraid of in that sense. You've got great hold down capabilities. The only thing that could potentially give you problems when you're hold down is the T30. Everything else you can straight bully. So you should be looking to get yourself into a position where you can back these guys off, and then that will free either yourself to go up the hill or your teammates. And so this is a situation, so you're driving over this little ridge a little bit, and that's forcing you to expose yourself a little bit. It's counterintuitive, but if you drive up with your side, you actually, because of the way that the terrain works, you'll have more gun depression. You'll actually expose less of your hull. Like, you can get shots on that T-30 without actually exposing your hull. See how you have to drive up a little bit? But if you put your wheels that way... Now he's out of the picture of it. Anyways, that's the sort of point. Alright, that's fine. So they've backed off, and then so, especially once they've revamped the map, right, with no arty, once you have this section of the hill, it's very, very difficult for them to push around. I would actually go and look and see what's over here. One of the nice things about there not being any arty is that you're free to sort of, you let that comet get a shot of free damage by going out the way you did. You basically, you might as well have just pulled out with your ass and just.
It's a trap!
I'm willing to trade my one shot for yours, because you completely could have just gone out with your frontal armor there. You were just lazy. And this is fine what you're doing right now, especially since you see how they're really not paying attention to you for some reason. That T-30 looks like he wants to push. If he does, that's the Tiger. The Tiger's. Can I zoom? Oh, sort of. The Tiger is, there's basically a little bush right there. You can actually just blind fire through it. Yeah, kind of right there. Yeah. That's what I would do. Whether you hit or not, who knows? I would still, like, see how... Again, this is the sort of vulnerable no man's land area here. This M103, he's a little bit close, so it's going to be difficult for STA2 because STA2 doesn't have much depression. But this guy is, right, if he moves any more north, this is the same situation that Bonzo was in, where you get all sorts of just free damage, especially in a tank with any amount of depression, into these guys over here. Especially if they're trying to deal with these guys over there, they're going to be distracted, and you can collect all sorts of free damage. And the best place to do it is behind this rock where this STA2 is, because that protects you from any shots from over there. The problem with being in an STA2 is that it doesn't have any depression, so he's not really going to ever be able to get any good shots there. Not like you'll be able to anyways. And most tanks don't have a whole lot of depression, so they have to move away from this position in order to actually shoot you. See how that M103 is moving back? That's fine. This is not a good...
It's a trap!
It worked out, but yeah, he should have gotten his shot of free damage. And then what he should have done is, instead of backing off, he should have just moved forward towards you, and you wouldn't have been able to shoot him. But yeah, that was a little bit of dangerous, but it worked out for you, so alright. And at this point, you can just look to get some shots here. Like, you want to avoid just getting proxy lit by this guy.
It's a trap!
Lol, Scorpion. Whoa, you shot that like 20 meters short of him. That was a depth perception issue right there. Yeah, he's not out there. You can probably get shots on that 704 if he gets lit.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
Don't forget that you're getting proxied this whole time. Lol. Snapshot, best shot. And so you kind of have to be careful about playing right here, because you can potentially still get shot by that Tiger on that other side. In a sort of comp like this, especially if you have a faster tank, it's better to go down this one line to kill the Tiger, in my opinion. You still got a lot of health, so I would look to get into a position where you can bully someone. You just want to stay basically off the 4. You basically want to stay off any line where the 704 can shoot you. So you can go either to the 1, 2, 3 line, or you can go to the 8, 9 line. Either of those is good, right? Because what you want to do is you want to especially since if you're going to have like this KV5 proxying this, if this T28 Proto is going to stay in this area, you're going to have lights here. So if like you come down where this Comet is, you can get free shots on that M103. Use a building to block yourself from the JP2. You want to break the underneath of this by getting to a flank somehow.
It's a trap! We've lost a track. We fixed the track. Get going.
Yeah, see how your team is starting to congregate up here? It's starting to stagnate a little bit. Like, you're not going to get good shots if everybody's taking the exact same shots. Well, the good news is that everybody up here with you is dying. So that's going to change that crowding issue. The bad news is they're still going to be protected from your area. Right, everybody's got the exact same shots. And so you gotta go someplace else. You still have a lot of health, right? You can push into any area that you want. It's just playing this middle area probably isn't going to be too profitable, given that your entire team is there suiciding, and the fact that all they have to do, they don't have to protect themselves at all from any flanking fire, right? They just have to protect themselves from this center. So I think this is a good idea. It looks like you're going to push island, and that's fine. You should have done it when your platoon mates were still alive, because you could have said, hey, let's go do 1-2 line. Clear that out. It's still going to be a little bit of a tough slog. What you need to do is get to that Tiger 2 area before, or without getting lit. Like, you want to not be lit until, like, the G line, something like that. Because you need to get beyond the point where the KP and the 704 will get good shots on you. And your team is just straight suicide in the middle. And this is the easiest thing to break when you see, like, whenever you play this in Clan Wars and competitive play. Once you get them underneath here, you've pretty much won the game. It's just a matter of getting around to one side or the other and just blowing them out. But in pub matches, it doesn't quite work that way because people don't understand to go to the flank and then blow them out. They just don't have the practice of doing that. So exactly that. Once the Tiger 2 gets lit and backs off, that's when you make your push. Right? And your push is not to be anti-Tiger 2. Your push is to protect you as much as possible from right there. Don't care about the Tiger 2. Tiger 2 can shoot you all day. You just don't want to get shot by the 704 or the KP. And then stay close. You're not worried about him shooting you from over there. He's probably in that middle area someplace. But so this is the tricky part. So when you turn this corner, you need to be careful. You actually want to drive further on this sort of lower ground here rather than onto the higher ground. Because once you start going onto the higher ground, the 704 and the KP can shoot you. Kanonen Jagerpanzer. KJ? Whatever you want to call it. KJP? Anyways, can shoot you. So if you stay on this low ground, right, you can get a shot on him. He's one shot to you without overexposing yourself. See, you need to go before your 122-44 gets himself killed.
It's a trap!
And see, you want to get this guy down without being proxied by these guys, because being proxied by him is going to allow them to have shots on you.
It's a trap!
All he wants to do is proxy you. That's his entire goal in life, and you need to recognize that. Unless he's silly and tries to peek over to shoot you. But anyways, as I was saying, all you have to do is just drive out here until you get to a point where you can take that shot. Lol, that works too. Okay, and then what you want to do is, again, stay low, drive down there. Once you drop spot, that is. You want to be careful about picking up. So the reason why, like, you drive down here is that once you get down here, you're protected from where they're at, and you can shoot this M103 all day. Like, if you watch we have a video on YouTube with the AMX CDC on mines. I think it was the AMX CDC on mines. It was one of the French tanks. It might have been the FCM. I'm pretty sure it was the CDC, though. Where you basically get down here, these guys that are lit up here all day. And these guys, the JP, KP, KJP, and the Object 704 can't do anything about it. From your position that you're at, if you move up through by this rock here, you can do it as well, but then it kind of exposes you to return fire. What you can't do is just keep peeking back into these guys.
Penetration.
Oh, it's just the KP. Oh, take him down. So push up to that rock, get a shot on the M103. Get a shot on the M103. He's passing through an area where you can shoot him.
It's a trap! Penetration.
All day. If only you were out there a little bit sooner. Okay, at least the T-30 down. Yeah, and then I would just push
it's a trap!
and then Yagatanso. Oh man, he YOLO'd up there. The T-30 should be able to get him. So we know that the 704 went north. He might be going through the north 5 line to like that D5. I would actually get over by your T-30 as much as possible. In 2-on-1 situations, you actually usually want to make it a 2-on-1 situation. You don't want to make it a 1-on-1 and then a 1-on-1, because that's how you lose. Because you can lose 2 individual 1-on-1s, but it's very difficult to lose 1 2-on-1. So you want to get close. See, because really the worst thing that can happen right now is he comes up behind your T-30 and kills him. I guess the worst thing that can happen is that he comes up behind you and kills you first, but it's the same end of the game. Don't make it into 2 1-on-1 matches. Make it into 1 2-on-1 match. Why would the T-30 poke the ridge? The T-30 should be more worried about his ass than the ridge, to be quite honest. He needs to ask himself, why was the 704 going north? What's his end game? Oh, it's to come up behind me. I did not see that coming. And to come up behind me and shoot HE at me. Oh my god. So, effectively, what you've done is you've made this into 2 1v1s. And your T-30 is about to lose his 1v1 because he bounced the 704. But he shouldn't have won that anyways because the 704, for whatever reason, was firing HE. So what you really need is you need to get a shot of free damage and then start the engagement. So you need a shot of free damage and then back off, and then you can start the engagement and basically DPM them down.
It's a trap!
That's perfect. That's perfect. Don't chase him. You can let him think that you're chasing him. You can actually peek over there and see if you can proxy him. I wouldn't. The 704 doesn't have fantastic. He's gonna head east, or he's gonna sit underneath you.
It's a trap!
It doesn't actually have very good elevation at all. No, don't go in front of him.
That one didn't go through. The antenna is damaged.
Oh my god! Shoot for the track, shoot for the track. There you go. Oh yeah! That's right, now pin him. Shoot for the track again, shoot for the track. No, you can shoot for the track. You don't want to let him rub you off. No! He's not gonna reload in time. Okay, so yeah, just like Bonzo, you threw this game, but in slightly different ways. So you did fine for the most part in moving up here. I felt like you could have pushed their team back off of here in the early game. I felt like you stagnated a lot. Your team stagnated in general right here. It's really something, especially if you're in a platoon and you can feel your team stagnating. Just grab your platoon mate and make that exact same run that you did, and you guys could have cleared that out and basically 1-2'd a lot of stuff down here. Ideally, you would have been able to take out the M103 a little bit earlier, a little bit less focused down here. A lot of times with tank destroyers, you can take them out of the game entirely by just using little bits of terrain to block their position, and they don't really have a recourse to relocate and reposition to get shots on you easily. So even if it's just coming to right here in this sort of J1 area, that completely negates their ability to shoot you because they can't shoot through that rock right here. But your T-30 that's proxy spawning this M103 will give you shots all day, right? The same thing if you move down here, right? If he's down here, you can shoot him from over here. If he moves up, you can shoot him from over here. So it depends on where he's going to go, but he's got that M109, M103 has no recourse in that position either. And then you actually got exactly what you were looking for. You kind of blew it. You had a 2v1 and you made it into two 1v1s, and your T-30 lost, and then you had to go. But you got exactly what you're looking for. You got your free shot of damage on the 704, which took him down to like 1100 health, right? And you had at that point like, I want to say like 1200-ish. Let's see. Let's go back and look at this. So what is that? That's 525, 12. Yeah, you had about 1250. And then if he ran away to this east, that's his only real recourse, because doing what he did was basically suicide. The only way that you could have lost that game if you did exactly what you did, which is fall down in front of him, take a third of your, about 40% of your health in falling damage, and then get shot by him. And then you still had a chance. So you did a good job of tracking him. He repaired it. But then you should have tracked him again, right? And then it's GG. Second track, GG. But you chose to shoot for damage on the side of the side of his hull, and that ended up costing you. So it's very, very winnable game, either by changing your play in that mid game, coming over here sooner, dragging your platoon mate over there to prevent him from just YOLOing down here in a paper tank and getting himself killed. You could have made the game much easier on yourself there. But even then, even after blowing the 2v1, although that wasn't technically your fault, you guys should both be looking to hook up. The T-30 should be looking to be as close to you as possible, and you should be looking to get to as close to the T-30 as possible. The T-30 needs to recognize that the potential for the 704 to come up behind him. But even then, you still had a fantastic chance to win that game. 704 has no gun elevation at all. He has to move away from this area to actually get shots on you. So it should have been very easy for you to kill that 704 from above. But just the way that you landed in front of him, losing 40% of your health, that hurt. But it was entertaining to watch. Okay, so if we look at the stats, $7K damage is fantastic. You didn't get a whole lot out of your team, but again, you can say the same thing for their team. They got a little bit more overall out of their team, especially in this sort of mid-tier area, but yeah. Pretty good shooting. Just, it's really one of those things. Even when you're in the slowest tank, you weren't totally in the slowest tank, but you were in one of the slower tanks on your team. When you feel your team stagnating like that, look to break it by going someplace else. Unless you're getting great shots, which you weren't, right? You weren't getting anything. You were taking blind shots on you were playing the let's guess which side the JP2 is gonna poke out on and take blind shots. Like those were the shots that you were reduced to, and those aren't quality shots. And in the meantime, your team was literally just dying up there, and your platoon mates were suiciding. So yeah, you want to try to change things up when things start to stagnate. Like they had no reason or no real power to change their what they were doing because they have a lot of tank destroyers. They were already in a campy configuration. It's just a matter of whittling that down, and a lot of times you do that by just pushing through areas that they're weak on. But GG, I will send you codes. So platoon of tier 8 scouts on Westfield with no artillery. Not so great, but so when you have multiple scouts, generally the best thing to do is to send one right here and two out here. You could technically do it the other way around as well, but I think that sort of assumes that you're going to push up under here, which I think is a little bit more difficult. I think it's easier to push out in the field, especially with the changes that they made out here. You really don't want to play any part of the town, because anything that you meet there is just going to straight bully you. And the nice thing about having platoons is that hopefully you guys are communicating with each other about what you want to do, where you want to go. You guys are all going to the same place. So typically when you congregate light tanks like that, it's because you want to look to basically harass with them, which means being, figuring out where the enemy's at, pushing, harassing, and getting out before they get reinforced. Typically in most light tank configurations, you'll do one spotter and just two snipers. See how you guys are, you're sort of congregated, but none of you are going to spot anything unless something literally just drives over the hill at you. You're just too far back. You're not going to really spot the zero line. And so, because of the amount of time that's elapsed, right, 1 minute has elapsed, which means you've missed your window to spot any of these guys going down here. So if they sent any of their light tanks or any of their speedy medium tanks over here, you've already missed your window to detect those guys. So if you sit back here at the start, don't creep forward later, because now this area right here, which was safe before because you would have been able to detect these guys as you moved up here, now this area becomes compromised because either eventually you get lit, either because they creep somebody over here from the low town over there, and then these guys who've already moved down here then have fantastic shots at you, right? What you want to do is be in this area early so that if these guys try to push down here, you spot them, and that either slows them down or stops them. Your team gets free shots at them, whatever. But if you get lit by these guys over here, or let's say you mess up and you get lit by these guys here, all you have to do is just slide back down this hill, right? And there's no direct fire on you anymore. But moving up late is always bad. And again, you can push through here, but see, like this matchup, that's not a very good matchup for you. And so when you push up in this type of configuration, you don't want to push up through this side of the town, because again, you have to remember that this entire area is compromised now because you don't know anything out here, right? So you actually have to come in through this side and then figure out, right? So you see your guys are pushing around this flank right here. It's actually not necessarily a bad idea to go all the way back over here and come through with these guys at this point, right? Because this is the safest mode of attack, but you got to get your gun in action. But you don't want to be the frontline tank. But you do want to be active.
Ziel erfasst. Wirkungstreffer. Ich sehe sie nicht mehr. Bereit zu feuern.
A little bit too much auto. That shouldn't have been an auto aim. Like the T-49, alright, I'm with you. But why are you even shooting at this guy? And see how your T-54 is in that sort of compromised area? That's not good. And see how they're chasing their guys through there? You could have still been up here, sort of by where your WZ-132 was, to get a better shot. And so what your team really needs you to do right now is to spot these guys out here, because as they push after these guys, they're going to get shot as they come out here, and they really don't have the vision to control this. So you probably shouldn't have left here. So now is the time when you should have moved up to where that T-54 was. Because you're not going to be able to push over here effectively, right? You just can't push against those tanks. So you're taking your gun out of the game. So what you should be asking yourself right now is, what's your game plan? What is it that you're looking to do here? So you've already lost the opportunity. You lost probably a couple of tanks here that you didn't need to, but that's okay. But you just didn't have the vision to see this line. But everybody's leaving that, so you're relegated to being over here again. So at this point, what you need to probably do is figure out, do they have anything right here? And you can do that by basically coming up over here, poking over here, and seeing whether you get lit or if you light anything. Otherwise, what you just have to be patient and opportunistic and look to see if you can get flanking shots on these guys right here. You want to be careful that you don't get shot by the 704. Since this is where all of your forces are, and you need your team to deal damage, you want to be where they're at. And so this is the exact same situation that was down here where you left those guys. You kind of want to figure out how can I best help these guys.
It's a trap!
Ziel erfasst. Wir haben sie nicht mal angekratzt. Kette beschädigt. Unsere
Not entirely sure what you thought you were going to accomplish there. There's a gap in front of you. There's going to be a tank down there on that. Like, you can get through this area. There's this gap between the E75 and the 704 that you can get to shoot the E75 if you want. You don't even have to wait for them to back up. You can move forward and shoot that E75. He's not around this corner. He's around the next corner. Right, so you could drive up, like I'll show you when you get there, because you'll get there eventually. Right, even if you're right here, right? That's not that far from where you're at. That's literally like 10 meters from where you're at. Look how easy of a shot that you have on this E75, right? There's zero chance that the 704 can shoot you. So that's all you really need to do is move forward a little bit and get shot on that guy. So the 140 is behind you, which is okay. It's not that big of a deal. And then again, what your team really needs is for you to be eyes for them, and that's really just to spot this area right here to see have they moved over. You know that they've got some guys over here. This guy's unfortunately going to die no matter what you do, but at least you know where like there's 140 is, which is a pretty significant question. So you should be able to spot across here fairly easily. You're gonna have to worry about cap because you're gonna have to go. Your team is gonna have to go back, but you can't do that by yourself. You can light the cap, but it's a little bit less of an equation, or a little bit less. You're a smaller part of the equation than if you don't actually have firepower going back. But it looks like your E4 is going back. Looks like your Battat's going back. This is not a time to auto aim. Well, not a very good time to auto aim. You could have pursued him and killed him, though. I mean, that you could have done. You just don't want to break the. You just don't want to break the end of the town because that's when they're gonna start getting good shots on you. But it's all about clearing the cap. This is gonna be very easy. You're not even needed at this point because your team went back. You know where he's at. He's behind that house. It's not a question of where do we think he's at. He's right there. So you know that the Pershing is over there, the IS-3, those are the guys you can get shots on. Use your zoom. Zoom in, you can zoom in a little bit more than that, I think. You probably didn't need to back off there, just aim and shoot. Less snap, more dap.
Der ging voll durch ihre Panzerung.
You're kind of aiming oddly in terms of the sniper range that you're doing it. You're aiming at, like in that particular case, you were actually better off doing auto aim.
Wirkungstreffer. Kette verloren. Wir sind bewegungsunfähig.
And the ammo
Ich
rack.
sehe sie nicht mehr. Der ging voll durch ihre Panzerung. Kette wieder funktionstüchtig. Los geht's.
So your team still needs you to spot this area over here. You just want to make sure that this E4 doesn't get shot up. This is not a very good place to stop. At least go up to the next set of bushes. Like, you're not going to spot anything where you're at, unless they literally are already attacking your E4. Too late. No, he's right next to you.
It's a trap!
The call's coming from inside the house. Yeah, you want to be careful backing up here because it's going to be very easy for them to shoot you. You're not worried about the T-34. You're worried about these guys from shooting you from over here. You want to just get the hell out of Dodge. Oh, the 140 hit you with the heat shell and it didn't. No, just drive away.
It's a trap!
This is not a good situation. Run for your life. You use your smoke grenades. And so you need to figure out a way where you can spot these guys. Shouldn't be really that difficult, especially the T-34. You know the WZ-132 is probably in this middle area over here. You already know the 140 is over here, so that's not a problem. It doesn't look like they're really that interested in moving around to the flank through the north. So the first thing I would do is to try to pick up that T-34 if he moves forward on that K line. The real way that you can do that is just to pop up over this ridge right here. If you get lit, then you can just pop back down. What you want to avoid doing is overexposing yourself at any point. There he is.
Der ging voll durch ihre Panzerung.
Oh my god, man, use your zoom.
Wirkungstreffer.
So much snap. Alright, and you still need to figure out where this next guy is. You can make a little strafing pass if you want, which is basically just driving right there and then curling back, because that will tell you how high he's up on the hill and whether the super Pershing is sitting on top of here or not. You're letting the rest of your tanks spot for you for the most part in this game. That's not really what you want to do in the light tank. The real strength of the light tank is the ability for it to spot because it has camo on the move. What you don't want to do is just drive straight in. So you know the 140 is on the underneath the bridge, so that's not a concern. The Super Pershing is probably still in the exact same area. The WZ-132 may or may not be on this side of the dock for that. But it's fairly easy to find out. Just drive around and see if you get lit. Drive around on top of this hill, and if you get lit, you just drop down. You can move. I mean, I would move down the K and then up to 0. You can at least see where the Super Pershing is at. And then if you get lit or if you light him, then all you have to do is just drop down behind the hill. You can go out to this hill right here in order to spot where the Super Pershing is at. You're being a little bit too stagnant. You're acting like you're the big gun. You need to be the eyes for your team. Your team does not really... it's not their job to be eyes for you. It's your job to be eyes for them. Less campy, more stampy. This is what you should have done about a minute and a half ago, but better late than never, right? And so all this is going to tell you is the Super Pershing on this berm right there, sitting on top? Nope? Okay, then move forward. There you go. Oh, there's somebody there.
It's a trap!
Erwischt!
It worked, so okay. Then move forward. And then remember that you're lit, so you want to wait. And then you can basically just drive up to where that WZ-132 was. Right, and that'll tell you, is the Super Pershing still right here? Just peek out and then fall back. Again, it's not their job to spot for you, it's your job to spot for them. So let's get going.
It's a trap!
He's not even looking you, he already fired. All you have to do is just back up to right there and just shoot him in the side.
It's a trap!
Oh my god. Yeah, I wouldn't, you know, I would use a little bit closer of a sniper zoom. It'll make it easier for you. I'm pretty sure you can shoot this guy already from where you're at.
It's a trap!
Boy. You're like, sniping poorly. So, you got the turret brake, that's all you really want to do. The more that you drive forward, the more that the 140, well, I guess it's that now, so you don't have any gun depression over the back of your tank. So you don't, whenever you're facing away from someone, you don't have a very good chance. And see, so what you've managed to do was turret brake the T-26E4 and then turn him around so that all of your tanks are firing into his front again. So what you should have done is just sat on the other side. Because if you sit on the other side, he has to either let your team shoot him in the ass or he has to let you shoot him in the ass, right? The way that you played that, you made it so that he only has to face one direction. I mean, you're lucky that he's not a very good player, but he only has to face one direction in order to fight you. And the whole purpose of flanking and light tanks or getting turret brakes is to create opportunities for either yourself or for your team.
Ich sehe sie nicht mehr.
But they got it. Okay, so a number of things that I didn't really like here. One is that you put all of your light tanks together and then you sat too far back. Zero lights. That's bad, right? You need one guy up here, and then you can have two guys out here for fire support if you want. You can have two guys even up here for fire support. I don't really think that's great. I don't think that playing low town in that comp is ever going to end up well for a light tank, unless miraculously they push through one at a time or something like that. But you could have been much better off with one guy lighting over here to see what they send out over here, and two guys over here just railing on anything that he sees over here or down here or wherever. That would have been probably a much better configuration for you guys. You kind of played that more like you were a medium tank than you were a light tank. You didn't really work too hard to get spots for your team. You didn't work too hard to get flanks for your team. You want to try to do that more as a light tank. There's a situation over here on this northwest side where you very, 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 very easily could have shot that E75 for free. You just sat and you waited until your team killed him, and then you were able to drive forward. But very easily you could have just driven forward to right here and shot that E75 in the side. And a lot of, you're looking for situations like that where you can be on people's flanks to be an irritant, to be something where they're just like, God damn it, that stupid light tank keeps shooting me in the side because my team won't stop him, right? That's what you want. But you didn't really do that too much. You kind of played a little bit too passive throughout most of the game. Eventually you pushed up and sat over here for about 90 seconds longer than you really need to. Go up here, see if you light anything, see if you get lit. If neither happens, go to the next one, Same thing, rinse, repeat, go to the next one, rinse, repeat, go to the next one, rinse, repeat. You could have shot that super Pershing from this area right here very easily. That would have gotten a turret break as it was, right? Because if he's right here, then he has to either go down this hill over here. You have enough team on this ridge line here that wasn't going to be a problem. That guy was not going to get away. You just drove past him and gave him a turret break. The RU-251 has negative gun depression over the back of the tank. You can only fire at things up in the air over the back of the tank, so you never want to end up having to fire over the back of your tank in the RU-251. Other than that, it was okay. Yeah, hang on, I'm missing my... There we go. And so if we look at stats, one vehicle spotted by the RU-251, one vehicle spotted by the WZ-132, one vehicle spotted. So between your 3 top-tier light tanks, you spotted 3 tanks and did a grand total of 1,772 spotting damage. That's not getting it done. You guys got to do more with light tanks to create opportunities for your teams. Either that, or you got to be, the flanker harassers. Not too bad. I would also, zoom in a little bit more on your sniping. There's sometimes when you can use auto aim, sometimes when you can't. Generally, when things are moving very slowly or not at all, you can. Anything faster than that, auto aim's not super efficient. You're better off going to sniper mode and approximating. Try not to shoot so much in third person from a distance. Otherwise, GG, nice try. Well, I guess not nice try. GG, good win, sort of. Alright, and so next we'll look at Korhaniski again. On Mountain Pass. There are many cliffs in which he can drive off of. Alright, they have a faster comp, you have a heavier comp. Heavier comps are favored in Mountain Pass. Generally speaking. Just because if it turns into a peek and poke game, which there's a lot of alleys, a lot of narrow fighting engagements in this map, and so it tends to favor heavy tanks. You got a little bit of potato on there though. I would still head out towards this southwest, at least to start. I wouldn't commit. I wouldn't go like further than J4 to start, because you don't want them to be able to push in over here and basically swarm you, because they do have 3 tier 10 mediums. And then you want to see what the dispersion of your team looks like, as always. Because they have a 155-58, you have about a 78-second window or whatever it is for him to be loaded. So you're going to be able to cross here without fear of getting hit by Artie. Well, look at all your light tanks. Oh my god, what?
It's a trap!
Yeah, I would actually still be very wary of pushing through here, because if the Batchat FV4202 push through,
it's a trap!
Actually get boned. Patton's on the other side. You can get shots on 1390. The Batchats will be loaded in about 10 seconds or so. So we know that their Batchat, medium Batchat, is sitting there. That's good for you. 1390 sitting there. That's good for you. Their Patton is allowing himself to get shot, which is good for you. They've got some guys behind you, but see, your IS-3's keeping them in place, so that's good for you.
It's a trap!
They have a little bit more weight than you do forward anyways. You've got some weight behind and they're moving up, but you just need to wait to get there.
It's a trap!
You need to be careful sitting right here. This is a bit of an arty lane. It's actually safer to be a little bit more forward, about right here, maybe by about 3 to 5 meters this way, because basically this shoulder, this rock right here, actually protects you depending on where their artillery sets up. But their artillery hasn't fired this way yet, so maybe he went to the mountain path. I'm surprised that shot hit, but I'll take it.
It's a trap!
You'll get that shot if he backs up. Your team is broken through the other side. Oh,
it's a trap!
Batchat's coming around. And then you want to be careful about moving back here because you're moving into an arty lane. That should always be a consideration, especially if it's a tier 10 artillery. You have to know what you're afraid of. You should be afraid of the Batchat, by the way. Just let him push if he wants to push. You can actually stop him up here a little bit. Like at this point, you kind of assume that the artillery is over on the mountain path, so he's not going to be able to shoot you, which is lucky for you. I wouldn't. Yeah, don't tempt fate. I mean, they've got enough guys there. The Batchat left though, so it's just you and the T-54 lightweight. So bully to face. The Batchat's coming back. You didn't need to drive quite in front of him, but alright. Oh, yeah, you didn't want to give up that position though, not for free. Your CDC is engaging the T-69 over there. Hopefully your guy wins. You're gonna lose over on the mountain path. For some reason, they're 155-58 charged in there though, so good for him. They're on your hill.
It's a trap!
Actually, probably won't worry too much about that quite yet. Their artillery is down, so that's the only thing. The Batchat knows that you're coming, or anybody who's here should know that you're coming.
It's a trap!
One shot Batchat looking to trade. At least use your clip, man. It's your strength. Yeah, you probably didn't need to repair that. You probably could have just waited. Nobody else is really a threat to shoot you. Oh, don't crack yourself. Well, you can go back and just start picking this off. So this is a bad situation because really all they have to do is just when you get up there to reset, just rush you and kill you. Which I'm guessing they don't do.
It's a trap!
No. Side hug. No! 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 Get close! Get close! Close is your friend. You're in OP Rush. Oh, and you're shooting like his upper plate. OP Russian armor. Use the hull down. He's gonna be loaded.
It's a trap!
Alright, and then, so these guys are either going to be ISO'd or together. If the JPE went back, they're going to be together. So what you want to do is just peek over this ridge right here to see what's over here. If he's not over here, then he's with the Ferdinand. Yeah, this area right here is not a very good place to spot. The only thing that it tells you is if there's anything immediately below you. You actually have to go up into this area over here in order to actually see down this path. No, don't ignore it. I mean, I guess you can go and look over here because they're got to come up on one side or the other eventually.
It's a trap!
So the problem is you still don't know where the JPE is. So I would still, you got plenty of time. I would go over here and check and see where the JPE is at. Because what you don't want is you don't want to slide down here as the JPE is coming up this ramp right there.
It's a trap!
I don't think he has the gun elevation to actually shoot you where you're at. So I think you can just continue to shoot him. I still think the JP. Now you can probably go over to that area where you're in to see if the JPE is moved in. And he is doing it.
It's a trap!
So anyways, as I was saying, so if you had moved up here, you would have seen him coming up, and then you would have known, and that would have given you some certainty with dealing with the Ferdinand.
It's a trap!
You can always shoot him in the roof. This is another situation where he's got to back up pretty far before he can shoot you. Which you're allowing him to do. I would see if you can just bait a shot and get to the side at this point. Because he's going to be far enough back. No, maybe? What's he doing?
It's a trap!
Don't forget, he's got like a 20-second reload. Now he's far enough back where he can shoot you, so now you gotta be careful.
It's a trap!
So what you're looking to do is bait a shot if you can. And then charge, in my opinion. So you don't want to keep peeking on this side, you actually want to peek on this side. There's a hull down over this rock right here that you can use, and if you bait a shot, then you just go the rest of the way, and you're on his side. Because right, you're gonna have the same probability of him missing or you bouncing, but you'll be much closer.
It's a trap!
Or he can continue to let you shoot him. That works. Oh, he's making a run. Oh, he shot the rock. Rock's OP. Rocks and cliffs. Just not your. It's the same thing. I still would go over on this side. You don't want to keep peeking out in the same area if you can avoid it, just because it becomes too easy to focus that. Stay close to this rock, and you'll have better depression.
It's a trap!
I don't really think going out wide is a super great idea. Again, if you can bait a shot, you should rush. And that's what you're really looking to do. Right, that's going to give you the best opportunity.
It's a trap!
And so again, yeah, I think coming right here and using this as a hull down is your best shot.
It's a trap!
perfect. I would think that you need to be a little bit closer to the... Lol. You're trying to cut it a little too close there. Oh, the bounces are real. Charge him! Charge him! No! Charge him! Just charge him! He's got a 20-second reload. Oh my god. The thing about non-turreted tank destroyers is they don't have a turret. Just at this point, you might as well just use all of your shells and go for the Patons as well. So, okay. Slow, non-turreted tank destroyers with long reload bounces you. You're, 75 meters away from him. Just close that gap. Do exactly what you did. You risked him being able to shoot you. You're lucky that he wasn't able to by driving down there late. All you had to do was exactly what you did, just 3 shots earlier. There was no reason for you to dance around, try to snipe, his roof from where you're at. When you already know that you have a 20-second window where you can move wherever you want for 100% free, and he doesn't have a fast enough tank where he can actually counter that. All right. So, pretty good round. A couple of things, though. So you went over here, which was fine. You got some shots on their Patton, which was fine. You need to be very careful. They actually had more tanks than you over here. They just got held up by a single IS-3. A single IS-3 held up their entire sort of team that went down this direction. And that was lucky for you because they could have gotten onto your flank very easily. Your team actually broke through the middle eventually, which is fine. I mean, that's great. Their artillery went ice road, which completely negated any influence over this area right here, which basically allowed your team to run wild, to do whatever they wanted over here, right? So your team moved through the middle. These guys eventually managed to gather up the courage to beat that single IS-3, and we're able to push in here, and then you can just slide down here like you did, which is fine. You can stay up here for as long as you can, because you want to try to punish as much as possible, make this not a very easy place to go, because once you slide off, you can't come back up there. You got to go all the way back around. When you go all the way back around, everybody's got the exact same shots, right? And there's no flanking, really. And then it's just really just looking for opportunities to bully. You probably should have lost that FE4202 matchup. You got a little bit lucky. Your 1390 helped you. There was a carcass there for you to hide behind. You don't want to shoot the upper glacis of the FE4202. With the Russian mediums, a lot of times if you just get to the sides of the 4202s and things like that, it's difficult. They do have the gun depression where they can shoot you, but it's not easy for most people to shoot you in that situation. So that's something where you could have done damage to him very easily and minimized the damage that he did to you. And then after that was fine. I always like going right here. If you need to spot this area right here, you can go to the area that I pointed out earlier in the match. The area where you poked out at, as I noted, is only going to light the area that's immediately below you. You won't get any other intel than that. And what you really didn't want is for that JPE to be hooking up with the Ferdinand, right? Why make 1 2v1 when you can make 2 1v1s, right? They needed to link up and they didn't, right? And that created an opportunity for you, because if those two tanks attacked you together, it becomes a much more difficult task. But that's not what they did, right? And so that allowed you to basically make 2 1v1s, and you did fine against the JPE until the very end. Once you bait the shot, I think game over. It's GG. Once that shot is baited, the game is effectively over, and you still gave him a chance. You're just like, I'll make him think he's got a chance. Yeah, don't do that. Just GG. Thanks for participating in this game. I'm going to kill you now. Alright, so if we look at the stats. Oh my. Look at the rewards. Spartan, Fire for Effect, Riley Walters, Bruiser, Duelist, Hand of God, High Caliber, Top Gun, Defender, Steel Wall. Lol. Yeah, you didn't get a whole lot of your team. They didn't really do a whole lot either, but Them's the breaks. The 1390 actually helped you out a lot by being alive at the end, because he basically saved you from being killed by the FE-42-02s. GG. Let's see. You used almost all of your shells. GG, well played. Alright, and the next one will be by Sycoticz on Malinovka. Alrighty. Similar comps. Different artillery makeup. I think the artillery actually favors you, though. I think I'd rather have 3 8s than a 10 and an 8 on Malinovka standard. I would start heading towards hill. It's pretty even matchup there. It depends on, like, if they send any of their mediums field, you'll know it before you get to the hill. So I would start heading up that way, and then you can make a decision based upon what your team is doing and what your team spots them doing.
Time to roll out.
And your mediums are going hill-ish, hill light. So let's see if they continue to do so. You've got a lot of people still in the base. That's never a good sign. Usually people that sit in the base are people that die. You got a couple of 10s out at least, you know, your mediums and the T-57-5 are out. So that's good. So this is the best possible situation for you. Both of your mediums are here with you. You don't have any intel, but the tanks that possibly can be up here at this point in time are up here. So that gives you a good chance. Lol. Mouse, begin your field push. So hopefully your artillery is focused up here and not on the mouse, but it seems unlikely. It's a little bit of squirrel action. And you don't want to sit out here like these guys are doing. You want to go to the side of the windmill that you are on. And you just push forward here and you get some easy shots. You can get shots.
It's a trap!
Yeah. Right into his hull. That's one artillery, probably 155. Take your time, get those shots, make that shot count. That's a kill shot. I wouldn't try to shoot. It's difficult to shoot his lower glacis from where you're at because of the way the hill works. You shoot the turret, the little cupola on top of the turret is the best shot that you have. It's not a good shot, but... Or kill the STB. No, don't know. Oh, you got lucky. So he was down a little bit below the hill there, and so your reticle actually was on the hill, but your dispersion fired a little bit high, and so it hit him. Yeah, don't auto aim that. You could have just manually aimed that. And so at this point, really all you're trying to do is just track. when you see that much weight coming up, just track and depend on your RD to be able to get some shots there. That's fine. I mean, if you can get good shots through turret faces, then fantastic, but you're not going to get a whole lot of those. Now you can shoot to kill the E100 if you want. Because he's getting up to a point where his lower glacius is going to start being exposed.
It's a trap!
Okay, just take your time. Again, see where your T-62, your Russian mediums are at. You don't want to be out there, really. You can have one guy out there, but that's really, it's easy for you to get hit by RD. I would be more worried about that JPE. That JPE will shoot you where he's at. So I would get shots on that JPE if you can. Again, this is a situation that favors you because their team is lit in no man's land, right? You've got 3 big RD that probably are all paying attention over on this side, unfortunately, when they have easy shots right here. You've got a bunch of base defenders that will probably die at some point, but you need to basically keep in mind that you're on a timer up on this hill where you got to figure out a way to kill these guys. Their field mouse is wrecking your team. Shoot the port on top.
Penetration.
I'm not even sure where that shot went, but okay. Maybe it went.
It's a trap!
That's a side turret shot. That's a good shot. Ooh, that took a beating for that one, though.
Penetration.
I guess it did go into the side of the upper chassis.
Enemy is hit.
Okay, that's some good shooting. Now you're out of heat, though. Well, I have no idea what he was shooting at there, but okay. It's unfortunate that you had to take that shot of damage, but it's fine. Don't shoot your team. I just said don't shoot your team. Yeah, they're playing really poorly. It's just interesting that your team is playing so poorly and making this close.
Target acquired.
No, what are you doing? Oh my god!
I don't see the target.
No auto aim, no YOLO. No YOLO necessary. Yeah, you're gonna have to go back and spot. It's actually not that difficult to spot. You can technically spot from this area over here, depending on what their configuration is like. Don't even bother. Don't. Not necessary. You got bigger problems. Nobody else can do what you're trying to do. You're the only one that can do this. You know, when Frodo took the ring, they're like, dude, you gotta go to Mount Doom. You don't stop at McDonald's on the way. You don't take side detours and go someplace else. Do what you're supposed to do.
Let's find another target. Permission to engage. Got him.
You were lit, so you probably
Enemy armor is damaged.
you took a bad shot, but you're probably delit now. Okay, now take your time. Don't forget RD is still active. You can actually go back around outside. A little bit less missing. He can't light you.
Penetration.
You don't want to move too far to either side though, otherwise because the mouse can light you.
Enemy armor is hit.
Lol tiger too. Yeah, and then all you gotta do is almost exactly what you're doing, just move away, right? And then move using this to basically block you. And then move laterally, don't fire. And then move laterally, get good shots, light for your team. Spot and bomb, spot and bomb. Don't get stuck on little rocks. I hate that stupid rock. It's like, what? What the hell just stopped me? You do want to be a little bit closer so that you can light them though. right? You don't want to let them stay de-lit for too long. You've got an artillery, make use of it. You're driving too far away. Your E5 is lighting them, so that's good. Somebody's got a light. And so, see what you're doing. You don't want to necessarily do bush play unless you have to. You want to be the one that lights for your team. It's actually better to shoot the FV-183 than the mouse. He's a greater threat. He's further away. It's not like the mouse is super mobile. He's stuck out in the middle of the field. He doesn't have... Well, neither of them really have good camo. Shoot the turret. There you go. Good job. You're still not going to have a good shot on that guy, I don't think. The T-28 Proto's on your side. You need to move away from the T-28 Proto a little bit. Again, it's just spot and bomb. Abuse the mechanics. Oh, the mouse got away. And then, so again, what you can do is you can come up to this area right here to light where the FE-183 and the mouse is. The T-28 Proto can't cross here without you spotting them as well. So if you're in a central location, right, these are all tanks without good camo, without good speed. They're not going to relocate on you. That's a good shot. You want to, if you want to take more shots, you want to keep that bush between him and you.
That one didn't go through.
And hopefully your artillery shoots him in the face. You want to keep backing up because he's closing that gap.
We didn't even scratch them.
There you go. Good job. And then again, you can go right here and spot these guys as they move across. I wouldn't even bother taking that shot. Just wait, let your RD deal with it. It's not a big deal.
We didn't penetrate their armor.
HE is really not that effective. HE is good against like waffles, things like that.
It's a trap!
Oh my god! And like, what you really don't want to do is like expose yourself there, because you know they've got artillery and things like that that can potentially own you. So that's fine. So you can actually go a little bit up on this hill, like a quarter of the way up or so. That's going to allow you to spot if the FE-183 comes across to this upper plane, or if the mouse tries to drive across towards your artillery.
Gotcha.
And then if you get lit, you want to stay close to that rock.
It's a trap!
Closer to the rock is better. He's looking at you, he's looking at you, he's looking at you. Oh my
Didn't go
god!
through.
Don't move away from the rock! The rock is your friend! Stay close to the rock! No, the rock! No! Like,
One of our tracks is
you're not afraid of the 183, you're afraid of the arty.
It's a trap!
Well, you should be afraid of both, but the 183 can't shoot you through the hill. The arty can shoot you over the hill. Let's put it that way. Oh my god. So many likes. He's got a partial turret, so if you keep driving in the direction that you're driving, you should be able to pick him up.
ready to
It's a trap!
enemy
Good
armor.
job. Now get back behind that rock. And at the very least, don't give him your rear armor. How the hell's that M4043 carrying so much AP? You can't really outspot anything that's double bushed in this game. Or at least far enough behind a single bush, you know. It's actually easier to approach from the cap side. There's less camo for them to, or coverage for them, less of a distance for you to cover. So you can drive up over this lip right here, or if you really want to, you can drive over by these houses over here. It's usually the better approach if they're both, you know, assuming that they're both in this northwest quadrant. And then again, all you really have to do is spot and bomb. There's not necessarily any need to YOLO. Oh, there's one.
Permission to engage.
It's a trap!
Low.
Got him.
And then just wait. Just wait. Just wait. Back up. Don't poke out from around the house. Just back up and go around on one direction or the other direction. You should be able to outspot him. He was just sitting on top of that hill. And then because of where he's at, so there's a little hill right here. So what you can do to get to that is just literally come over here, drive straight up here, and then drive up on top of this hill, and then you'll light him. And then you'll know where he's at.
Ready to fire.
It's a trap!
Armor is hit.
Get down below that hill. Wow, that was a horrible shot.
They're knocked out.
Okay, so number of things. Going hill was fine. You did fine up there. Your other two mediums were up there with you. You took a shot from that JPE, which kind of sucked, but that'll happen. You kind of YOLO'd off the hill, which I didn't think was really necessary at all. But you didn't really take any. You weren't punished for it at all, so that's fine. I really think like the biggest mistake that you made was when you went back. Really, what you need to do is you need to first make sure that you don't get capped out. Second, you had basically 3 already back here, and you were the only tank literally on this half of the map. So what you need to do is you need to try to get that contained where that Panther 88 went through. So if you get back there earlier, you can potentially contain that Panther 88, and you lose at least 1 less artillery, if not 2 less artillery there, and that makes a huge difference. Your artillery's smarter. They would have moved north anyways, but that usually doesn't happen in pub games. But at least you were able to take out the Panther 88. They didn't put more than 1 guy on cap. You were able to outspot the Tiger II pretty easily. And then you had this situation where you had the Mouse FV-183 T-28 prototype all in the field. All tanks with bad vision, bad camo, bad speed in open areas. And you're in a medium, which doesn't have fantastic camo, but you got better camo than any of them. You got better view range than any of them. You should have been the one spotting that Mouse and that FV-183 for your E5. You shouldn't be relying on an E5 to be spotting those guys because you can outspot them. You should be able to outspot them, and then your E5 can get free shots of damage. Your artillery can get free shots of damage. I think that's a huge difference in the game, but you got to make sure that you don't get capped out. Ideally, you save as many of your artillery as you can, and then you just exploit the advantages that you have, which is superior view range, superior mobility. They don't have the ability to push across open fields. The path that they chose was very poor given their composition. And then at the end, that was all fine. I think you still need, like when you were fighting the Mouse and the 183, shooting the Mouse on the side is fantastic. When you don't move away from this rock, because that's when you expose yourself to artillery, and you're lucky the artillery didn't hit you when you rolled back here. You were just as safe from the FV-183 when you were closer to the rock, but you were much less safe from artillery as soon as you moved back. And so we look at the stats. 8k damage is great. Neither team did spectacularly. Your Russian mediums actually did pretty well up on that hill, and then pretty much no one else in your team did a whole lot. Pretty good game. 25 for 40 is not so great, but felt like you could have spotted a little bit more for your team in that end game, though. But GG, well played. Alright, similar comp. You have one already, they have two. Yeah, I would start heading to this east 9-0 line, see what your team does, see if your light tanks get any intel. They have two T-49s, which tend to be more snipey-dipey in pub matches than they are actually scouty. But you never know. See what happens.
Auf geht's!
Move. So you have one RU going west, one RU going east. And really, we talk about this a lot in the stream, but all you have to do is just surf this ridge as the RU and then come down when you get lit. What you don't want to do is stay really low where you don't spot anything. You want to be careful moving up here because you're going to be proxy spotted by that T-49, and that's potentially dangerous depending on how they set up their artillery and whatever support fire. He did just shoot, but that doesn't really help you a lot because like there's an 100 behind them. Oh, it's dangerous! The A100 and his friends were not looking at you though, so you did not get shot. And so the thing is that you actually want to be as close to this rock as possible and as far forward as possible, as far to the east as possible, because it's really easy to either land shots over the back of this little rock here or splash you out through the backside of there. The further west they are, the further south they are, the better shots they get on you. So the further sort of to the northeast you are, the more coverage you actually get. You just don't want to go so far that you stick out. Kind of like that. You got lucky that that one went a little long. And then now you can actually, once you drop spot, you can drop down into the bowl by the E50M if you want. Don't really want to poke out with your tail like that, both because of the arty and the fact that there's an E100 there. The E100 is close enough where he can spot you. You don't want to hang out in this where you're at though. I would recommend going down forward. Like you can push forward into that little bowl down by the E50M. Because you're basically pinned right now. There you go.
It's a trap!
You don't do it, my man. You're young. You've got so much to live for. You can go and front this E50M, who's probably going to die, if not by you, by artillery, because he's not in a very good position.
It's a trap!
That's fine. Do repairs, see if you can track him again. Not quite. Close, but no cigar. Oh, that's excellent. Perfect. And you actually want to, you can either push up on this side at this point, or you can push up through this side. Your team's playing really passive on the west, so they're going to lose. These guys are going to die right here. These guys are going to be okay for a little while. You've got some time, but as far as you know, they don't have a whole lot back here. So I don't think you really want to push the E100 frontally. You want to keep them lit if you can, see if your artillery can get shots, but you don't know if your artillery is even shooting that way. Generally speaking, what you want to do is you want to start poking up just a little bit onto this upper plateau here. See whether this Ferdinand has backed off, whether he's in the same place, whether they have more support behind them or not, whether there's anybody on these ridges back here. You want to get a little bit more intel than what you have.
It's a trap!
So you know where the Ferdinand is. That's good. The bounces. He's going lower, which is even better for you. You still don't want to fight these guys frontally. It's not really a super good matchup for you. I'm not entirely sure what you think you're going to get out of this, but it's probably going to be a 15 centimeter shell. And I don't think that that's what you want. I don't know why the Z100 doesn't shoot you. Yeah, he shot. Get a shot on his lower glaciers. You don't need to push him at this point. Your guys are actually moving in. You can get one more shot and then you gotta bail. It's gonna be cool. You didn't really try with that shot, but it's okay. You just need it to be safe. No, get your shot, right? It's 1-2, 1-2. He's the 1, you're the 2. Turret break, shoot him in the side of the turret. You should already be aiming at the side of his turret, not humping this carcass. You don't really need to drive further forward, because it's going to make you more vulnerable. And then just bail. And then so what you want to do is that you don't need to push through here anymore. You actually need to probably come back through this middle area. Make sure that they're not progressing through this side. You're going to lose this west side eventually. But you don't need to go back to the base because you haven't quite lost contain over on that side yet. They haven't pushed in, right? So that's on them. So if you can drive across there, I would drive across, yeah, a little bit more to the south, because if the waffle moved up over here, he could spot you pretty easily, and that would just be, he would just be able to clip you out. So you always want to be crossing someplace safe. But the fact that your guys held out this long is already great. Those guys, they're sending some guys back. I wouldn't worry about that quite yet. What you want to be able to do is ideally see if you can start breaking up over here and get to this side, because their artillery has to be on this side of the map. Like, there's no reason really for you to go to the back, because all you're really going to get is shots into the front of heavy tanks, and that's not really a good matchup. What you want to do is you want to get shots into the sides or the backs of tanks, or tanks that are retreating. See how your guys are pushing in here? That's going to pull people back, right? Pull people back here. The fact that these guys are pushing in are going to start pulling people back and pushing people forward. So you don't want to be on the front. You want to be in the middle, so you can shoot these guys in the back, or you can shoot these guys in the back, or if they start back here and moving forward, you can shoot them in the back. You want to shoot some back, is what I'm getting at. Shoot in front is not your forte. So see, like where your T-28 Proto is, that's a great position.
It's a trap!
Lol, JP. Like, you don't have good shots where you're at, so reposition to someplace where you can get good shots. That's always what you're trying to do. Like, that is not a good shot. Like, these are not good shots that we're looking at right now. That's a decent shot. This JPE is going to come around and give you another not good shot.
It's a trap!
You somehow penned, so that's alright. Your T-28 Proto is still in a great position. He's just really not going to be able to put out the damage that he needs. And they're probably going to turn their attention to him soon. See the Indian Panzer. So if you drive out here, you can get shots on the Indian over on this side. Right? Always look to support. This side's fine as well. You don't want to try to shoot the JPE frontally. That's not really helpful. So JPE is going around the outside even easier. So you can push the Indian. You don't. So this is basically what's happening. There's a 1v2 on this side, and there's a 1v3 on this side, right? And you've got your bat chat already, right? You don't want to make, you know, like how we were talking in the earlier replay reviews. When it's 2v1, you don't want to make it into two one-on-ones. You don't want to make it, hey, we'll challenge you. We'll do an honorable man-to-man duel, and then if you lose, then you can fight me. Like, you're doing this exact same thing here, where you're saying, okay, well, you win your 1v2, and I'll win my 1v3, and I think that's the best odds for us to win. Really, that's not the best odds for you to win. The best odds for you to win is for you to make this 1v2 into a 2v2, and for these three guys to just be sitting around with their thumbs up their rears. You don't want to try to engage a 1v3 if you can avoid it. especially if your team is also fighting their own overmatch. I would ignore the JPE entirely. The ISA is going to be right behind you. Oh my god.
It's a trap!
Oh my god.
Bereit zu feuern! Dagegen voll durch ihre Panzerung!
Unfortunately, I think your tortoise is going to die. Don't die, tortoise. Don't die.
Nicht mal angekratzt.
Now is a good time for auto aim. Or maybe you are auto aim. Actually, you're not. For some reason, the aiming bugged out.
Gegnerisches
Like,
Fahrzeug
aiming off.
ausgeschaltet.
It shows you as aiming off way the hell off to the side. And then at this point, I would actually go back up to this ridge right here, because you're going to have to spot into this area over here, and you want to do it from over here. You still have an RD, so that's fine. You don't necessarily want to challenge from this side. You want there to be this big open area so that you can spot and bomb. Close range engagements are not your friend. You have to use the resources that you have available to you.
It's a trap! Gegnerfahrzeug ausgeschaltet.
And so the Indian was, let's see, oops, wrong button. 900 health, and we don't know what the waffle's at. There he is.
It's a trap!
No, don't stop with your side to him. You're not afraid of the Indian, you're afraid of the waffle. Just keep telling yourself that. You do need to spot him though, because you don't want to give the waffle time to catch up with his positioning. So you can spot either around this side, you can spot around this side. You need to spot soon though, because you don't know where the waffle is yet. And if you can catch the waffle crossing the middle, fantastic. Well, how did the Bat Chat miss that shot? Oh, there's the waffle. There's the waffle. No. Just push the Indian and kill him.
It's a trap!
Push around this left side so that you don't give the waffle shots. The waffle's angling to get shots. Waffle, get a shot on the waffle. Get a shot on the waffle. He's not looking. Oh, he just turned towards you. Never mind. You can light the waffle by, going through here. Shoot him. Shoot him in the face. Shoot the waffle. Shoot the waffle. Shoot the waffle. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Good job. You need to be able to kill this Indian though. If you go around the left side, now the waffle can't shoot you anymore. You need to get this guy down though. Like this is. It's been fun, but he needs to go home. So see how you're chasing him in a direction where he's driving away forwards. You want to be going against the grain. You want to drive into his front. Otherwise, he's going to keep driving around. You're going to keep chasing him. You want to drive into the front of his tank. Force him to drive backwards, because he can't drive backwards as fast as you can drive forward. I don't know why you're going around with your ass, but he declined to shoot, so I guess that's good. Load HE. And you need to go push the waffle. The waffle is going to be stuck where he's at. If the Bat Chat basically drove over that little hump, which is fine. And then so all you got to do is just set up right here, anywhere along this ridgeline right here. Spot this waffle as he comes out. Oh, Bat Chat, where you go? You should have just stayed. Oh, where's the HE, man? Where's the HE? And then again, just go along this ridgeline right here. If he camps back there, you can go all the way over here, come over here. All you have to do is HE him in the face, and the game is over. You don't want to close the gap. You absolutely do not want to close the gap, because if you miss, he's going to clip you out. You want to be at a distance. He can't hide. He's got no camo. Closing the gap is pretty much the worst thing you can do. Because basically right now he's thinking, damn, I'm screwed. I gotta find some way to close the gap on this E50 so that I can, bait a shot, bait a miss, and clip him out. But short of that, I'm boned, because it's gonna take me at least 2 shots to kill him. And you're like, don't worry, man. I'll help you out. I'll close the gap for you. And so if you're going to do this, in a sense, that's fine. But if you do this, what you're saying is that I am going to be cautious, and I'm not going to miss. I'm not going to do a 0 damage shot. I'm going to shoot him in the turret, but not in the gun. I'm going to get a very patient and good shot. That's what you're saying to yourself if you're doing this. Because if you miss, you're boned. Oh, the rush! No, don't rush it! Okay. So, throws aside. That's fine. Let's review what happened in the game. So you moved up here, which is fine. You didn't really have very many eyes. Your RU-251 played low, which I don't think was a very good idea. You played behind this rock. Make sure that your artillery's safe. There's no reason for you to not make sure your artillery's safe. You're not afraid of the T-49. You should be afraid of artillery. So you want to hug the sort of northeast corner of this rock as much as possible. And then you push down here, which is fine. So that allowed you guys to take out the E50M, the Ferdinand in the back. Eventually, it took out the E100. Make sure that you're a little bit more arty safe, particularly when you're poking it out against the E100. Learn to take advantage of your 1-2s. When people push a flank, as soon as they turret break, you should already be aiming on the side of their turret, right? So the whole point of 1-2s is that one turret breaks, and then you get shots on the side of the turret, and then he's forced to make a decision. Do I continue to look where I'm looking, knowing that I'm going to continue getting shot, or do I look back, right? And so the other guy, the IS-3, is, oh, the E100 is, his turret is facing me now, so all I have to do is minimize my profile and wait. And then if he turns back to you, then the IS-3 just pushes forward a little and gets shots into the side of the E100 turret. That's what 1-2s are. It's just very, very simple. Make sure that you got that down. You don't even need to be in a platoon. It happens all the time. If your platoon mate, if your teammate is on a flank and you're on the other side, whoever's has the turret facing towards them, the other guy should be getting shots. After that was fine. I thought moving across, back across to support your guys in the southwest was the right play. I felt like you could have done a little bit better. I felt like the better position would be over where your T-28 Proto was at. You would have had better shots at these guys as they tried to push into your mouse and whatever it was that was left down here. I think it was a JPE. You would have had a lot better shots into those guys there. Pushing that JPE is, I'm not sure that was really that useful. You got him out of the game, sure, but you could have killed that IS-8 just as easily going through and prevented that Indian from doing a whole lot as well. The JPE wasn't like he was going to cap out. And then even then, once it was just down to the Indian, the Waffle, you still had a great chance to win. You kind of allowed that Indian to stay alive too long, just far too long in that middle area here. But you were able to get him down. And again, don't do ring around the posy with another tank. When you have the advantage, he can pen you frontally, but he's not gonna. He has to aim to pen you frontally. all you have to do is just drive into him frontally and just shoot him anywhere, and you're pretty much guaranteed to pen. So you have a huge advantage against that Indian, so you need to just bully there. The only thing that you're concerned about is that Waffle looking to shoot me from the distance that he was at? And the answer was no, so you don't have to really worry about that. And again, don't forget, the reason why you had 5 HE shells on your tank is because of this line, the Waffle line. They have very, very, very little armor in the turret, and so you switch to HE, you shoot them in the turret, you'll do full damage. As long as you don't hit them directly in the gun, you'll do full damage. And then again, so the bad choice is against a clip tank like that Waffle, that's one shot to any shell. You should have had HE loaded, but to any shell, if you hit him in the turret with AP, with anything pretty much, it would have killed him. You don't want to close the gap for him, because closing the gap means that if you screw up, that's it. You get one shot, right? If you're back here, poke over this ridge, try to take that exact same snapshot, miss, let's say he shoots you once, you can still back down over that ridge before he kills you, right? But if you do what you did and come around this corner and you miss, he gets to clip out on you before you can do anything else, right? So if the choice is, if you know you have him pinned back there one shot, come over here. If he's not poking out, come over here, look to get one single shot on him where you change one shot for one shot, and if you miss, all right, so be it. You know, you have another chance. But if you miss from that close range, you're screwed. And again, his entire thinking should be, oh man, I'm screwed because that E50's got 900 something health, right? It took him 3 shots to kill you. He's got like 900 something health, and I've got 200. So I need to figure out a way to close the gap, hopefully have him miss, and then clip him out. Like that's my chance, or to get him to get a free shot of damage as he's crossing an open plane. That's my chance. But you made it easy for him by closing the gap for him, right? And then again, even if you do that, that's fine. Like, you can do that. Like, let's say there was only 45 seconds left, right? And it was that or lose. Okay, that's fine. You can do what you did. But just take your time. You know that you can take at least one shot of damage. So take your time, make your shot count. Okay. So if we look at the stats, yeah, your team didn't do badly. They actually held out in the West a lot longer than they probably should have. You kind of had a weird dispersion there. Your guys were sort of campy. You did pretty well overall. 17 to 32 is not that great, but at least your hit rate was good. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a good game. I thought you played mostly well, but like a lot of the games tonight, this was a game that you personally could have won. It just, a lot of it is, not a lot of it. Some of it is being familiar with the situations, like understanding what advantage does this guy have and what advantage do I have. Like, you against the Indian Panzer, like, you have to understand that Indian Panzer was screwed. The only way that Indian Panzer can beat you is if you expose yourself to the Waffle while you're fighting the Indian Panzer. Like, otherwise, the Indian Panzer was just like, oh man, there's nothing I can do. I'm stuck here up against a higher tier tank that I can't pan frontally, not very easily. And I've got this little rock between me and him. And the rest of the area around us is a freaking desert. It's not like I can run. It's not like I can outrun him. So the only chance that he had was for the Waffle to shoot you while you were chasing him around there, right? So that's a situation that you should bully, right? And then again, when it's a 1v1 with you against the Waffle, it's understanding that, oh, okay, his advantage is that he's got a clip. My advantage is that I only need to hit him once and deal damage, and he's dead, all right? And then so figure out how that works to your advantage. But GG, nice try. I thought it was a really, really solid game. It's just, it's one of those things where a lot of these games, there's just one little tiny mistake, one little error in judgment, and the game goes from hard carry to, oh man, just barely missed.